All right, everybody, what's going on? It's Thundershot, and today I've got a very special guest with me. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hey guys, it's Mike here from Laughing Stock Media. How's it going?
All right, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be kind of predicting the whole Survivor Series tournament and how it's going to lay out. Now, I don't know if we're going to do, a couple matches per week and then have the final bout on Smackdown, or if they're going to save a couple matches to where they do like the semifinals right before the finals, the beginning of Survivor Series, then end Survivor Series with the finals. I'm not sure how that's going to lay out yet, but for now, right now, we know what's happened on Raw, and then we also have Smackdown spoilers. So if you plan on watching Smackdown this Thursday night, you might want to click off this video because we do already know who won that. For those of you guys who don't know, they record Smackdown on Tuesdays. It just airs on Thursdays. So if you're watching this on Wednesday or Thursday during the day, Smackdown has already happened, and we have the spoilers for it. So if you're going to watch it, click off the video, come back after you see Smackdown. If you don't care, if you don't mind the spoilers, we're going to go ahead and give those today for the first round. So I'm going to get into those right now. A first round recap: Roman versus the Big Show. Roman Reigns wins. Cesaro versus Sheamus. Cesaro got the victory. Del Rio versus Stardust. Alberto Del Rio wins that one on SmackDown. Kalisto versus Ryback. And we're going to come back. We're going to recap the first round. Kalisto beat Ryback. So we're going to talk about that later. Titus O'Neil versus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens wins. Neville versus Wade Barrett again on SmackDown. Neville beats Wade Barrett. Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz. Ziggler wins. And then Dean Ambrose versus Tyler Breeze. Dean Ambrose wins. Now, I should have some kind of bracket held up for you guys to be seeing on screen right now so that way you can keep up. But, Mike, what do you think of the first round? Just a quick, brief summary first round recap. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, first off, Roman Reigns versus Big Show again. It's like WWE. WWE just does not learn, and Big Show's injured right now, maybe just because, like, even God is like, okay, it's time for this match to stop happening. But it's just like, it's like enough. Finally, Roman beat him. Just get it over with. Get Big Show out of the way. Just have Big Show, like, go away for now, I guess. But I was happy to see Cesaro got a victory. I did not expect him to win. Like, WWE loves to job him out because Vince hates him, so I was really happy to see that, and I feel like he's a dark horse, victor for this. But honestly, Dean Ambrose won, so I feel like pretty much everything keeps going up. Him, Del Rio, I feel like these guys are really all the biggest candidates to win right now.
All right, and I do want to bring up, and I want to talk about Kalisto Ryback, because for the first time, and I don't know how long, we got to see an upset and maybe a push for somebody who we didn't expect but probably deserves it. And the WWE never does good stuff like that or cool stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know how the match ended because we haven't got to see footage yet. Obviously, SmackDown hasn't aired. We've only read spoilers online. However, I do know that apparently from the people there, they said Ryback and Kalisto had really good chemistry, and then at the end of the match, Ryback raised Kalisto's hands after he got beat. We're assuming he got beat by roll-up. I don't know how else Kalisto's putting Ryback down. But we're assuming Ryback got beat by a roll-up there. But that was just something interesting. Now, the unfortunate thing is because Del Rio came back, beat John Cena, got the U.S. title, they're probably going to have Del Rio put down Kalisto there. But it's cool to see the push nonetheless. I was also really, really afraid that Tyler Breeze was going to somehow beat Dean Ambrose, so that way they could have a Tyler Breeze-Dolph Ziggler matchup in the second round. But I'm glad that didn't happen, mainly not because I don't want to see Breeze get a push, but I don't want Ambrose to be a jobber.
I mean, the thing about Breeze, to be honest, is, like, first off, yeah, I'm happy Ambrose won because, like, I'm a big fan of Ambrose. But, like, when it comes to Breeze, like, it's good that they're pushing him. He can be a great, solid mid-carder in the future. I just don't see him becoming, like, with this current gimmick, becoming, like, a real main eventer. And I feel like maybe if they tweak it in the future, he can, because, like, he's, talented in the ring. But I just feel like at this point in time, it would just be really a bad idea for them to put him over Ambrose.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe he'll come out and interfere with Ziggler or something like that, and that's how Dean will win the match, and that'll further their feud. I don't know. But do you want to go ahead and start the list? Go down the line with predictions for round 2 and how you think they're going to go and what you would like to see.
Okay, so for round 2, we're going to see Roman versus Cesaro. And honestly, I'm picking Roman to win. I feel like Roman is going to take Cesaro. I feel like it's going to be a really good match. Cesaro's going to look strong, but Cesaro always comes up short in the end. Now, I know he's a dark horse to win the whole thing. A lot of fans want to see it happen. I just feel he's been booked too inconsistently. They can make him look great. If he somehow did win, they could build him up with promos and stuff like that. But I don't really see that happening, so I see Roman going on. And then I see, I see Del Rio taking out Kalisto. So I feel like, it's pretty much going to go up to Roman and Del Rio in that one. And then I see, Owens, like, easily beating Neville, and I see Ambrose probably beating down Ziggler. I feel like Ambrose is going to fight Owens. I feel like that, one of these 4 guys I've mentioned thus far are going to go all the way.
Yeah, and this is WWE being extremely creative. Something I guess I didn't talk about in the first round that I wanted to. And we were kind of talking about this before we recorded. But aside from maybe Cesaro beating Sheamus, but not really, like that one was kind of up in the air. But aside from that match, Kalisto beating Ryback was absolutely the only thing that everyone didn't predict. You know what I mean? Like, other than that, every single match is the most easily predictable thing of all time. And I do want to reiterate Roman versus Big Show. That's really boring, and I know they're trying to push Roman right now, and they've been trying to do that. You are not doing him any favors by putting him in with the Big Show again.
No.
I know
not
Neville.
Anyone favors by putting them in with the Big Show, to be honest.
Yeah, nobody wins when you do that.
Yeah.
I know Neville and Barrett kind of have a feud, but how cool would it have been to see Neville beat Big Show in round 1? You know what I mean? Like, let Neville get the push in that regard. That would have been, I would have been down with that one. You know what I mean? Little guy knocking on Big Show. That would have been a big deal. And then Roman just, cock slapping Wade Barrett, whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like that would have been a bigger favor in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, he would have needed to hit him with like 5 of those red arrows, but I wouldn't have minded it. Fuck it, let's have it go down.
Something ridiculous.
Yeah.
For my round 1 predictions to go into, like you said, Roman versus Cesaro. Cesaro could win that. The thing is like with how hard they're trying to push Roman, and we've talked about this before. You feel like this is Roman's like last chance. If Roman doesn't get the title now, any hype left for him is gonna die
because they're gonna Lugerize him.
They can't keep teasing us with Roman getting the title that long. Eventually, it's going to wear out its welcome. Eventually, we're not going to care anymore, and we're getting really close to that because they've been doing this for a long time with Roman and having stuff stopping it. So Roman has to win this. However, if Cesaro got the push, that would be a big deal. There's the Cesaro section. There's a decent crowd behind Cesaro now, and he's jobbing other guys all the time. He's looking great while he's doing it, but he's jobbing other guys all the time. So a Cesaro win wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but as a huge Roman fan, he needs the title now. Like, that's got to happen for me. It would be really cool for Kalisto to be some kind of insane underdog and beat Del Rio to move on. However, they just brought Del Rio in. He beat John Cena. He has the U.S. title. They're trying to make him a big deal, and they're trying to push him up. So I don't see any way that Del Rio doesn't beat Kalisto in this match. However, Kalisto's hype would be huge if he knocked off Del Rio out of nowhere like that. That would be something else.
Absolutely.
Owens versus Neville, Owens is just going to put down Neville. It would be really cool if Neville won, but then if Neville wins against Owens, that would almost mean that Ambrose or Ziggler would have to be the one that faces Roman for the title.
Yeah.
And then to move on to the next match, like I said, Ziggler in a World Heavyweight Championship match just like that, after he's been going back and forth with Intercontinental Champions and after he's been losing a lot of important ones. I don't know. It's highly doubtful. I think we're definitely moving on. But I pretty much at the end of the day I have the same list as you. It's going to be Roman. It's going to be versus Del Rio, and then on the other end, it's going to be Owens versus Ambrose. All right. And then semifinals. What do you got?
Semifinals, I'm picking Roman to go all the way. I'm picking Roman to beat Del Rio. Now, of course, the way that Del Rio came back, beating John Cena clean, that makes me kind of worried about it, because you never know if Del Rio is going to screw over Roman, some way to just push him to the end, but and give someone like a heel on one side or another. But I'm picking Roman. I think Roman's going to just spear him. He's going to beat him, and he's going to go on to the finals to finally get that match for the championship that he rightfully earned on the last pay-per-view. And I'm picking Ambrose to beat Owens. Honestly, I know that it would be, face versus heel, something that WWE typically does, but I think the two best friends are going to fight it out. I feel like they're going to go for it. Both of them are just going to fight as friends, and we're going to see what happens at the end of that.
Yeah, and this is where it kind of gets interesting. I'm almost curious to watch if I wasn't busy playing Fallout 4, I'm almost curious to watch SmackDown when it airs, because I want to see how Del Rio beats Stardust, and then when Del Rio and Kalisto fight, I want to see how Del Rio beats Kalisto, because like you said, Del Rio coming out from the back and clean beating John Cena out of nowhere like that, you have the potential for him to be way at the top. Come out and clean beating John Cena like that. However, if he's going to have a match with Stardust where him and Stardust are back and forth and it's really close and Del Rio barely gets the victory at the end, that he wins, but it kind of takes that hype away because he just had a match where he didn't dominate Stardust. Yeah. Same thing with Kalisto. If he has a match where he doesn't dominate Kalisto, all that hype, it slowly kind of drains down. And they're like, no, we're just putting the belt on you while Cena's gone. We're not actually making you a big deal. Is the kind of angle they're taking with. However, if Del Rio comes in and he steamrolls Stardust on SmackDown and he steamrolls Kalisto, him and Roman could be something really, really good. Regardless of who wins. Like we said, it's got to be Roman's time. This whole tournament is basically for Roman. He was going to have the match with Seth Rollins. It's very unlikely WWE Creative throws in a curveball and just completely changes the main event because Seth Rollins got injured. Completely changes Roman's aspect of it.
Yeah.
Just because Seth Rollins got injured. So But it would be really cool regardless. But I think Del Rio, even though I'm not a huge Del Rio fan, it would be cool to see him steamrolling people right here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Del Rio, the way that he came back, could really, possibly catch fire if they push in the right way. I feel like it was a misstep to make him a heel in the first place, considering that he was overwhelmingly cheered and everyone supported him. But WWE didn't want to look bad, obviously.
Yeah, and then Mex America and Zeb Coulter and him might having a feud with Jack Swagger is that's gonna bring that can bring a man down real quick. So I don't know.
Yeah, I if anything, Jack Swagger might interfere and cost him the match.
That could be something, I guess. That could be something. If Del Rio dominates, we could have an interesting match regardless. But no, Roman versus Del Rio, obviously. Roman Reigns getting the W on that one. And then Owens versus Ambrose. And this is the only one that's kind of iffy. Obviously, Ambrose versus Roman would be a way more interesting final fight from my perspective, at least, or what I think. But they've teased Roman and Owens to us a couple times in that they had that fatal four-way match where Roman hit the Superman punch out of the pop-up and was able to spear Owens and get the victory out from there. But that wasn't a straight 1v1. And then they had a 1v1 match on SmackDown where Owens eventually ended up running away from the match. Got a 10 count because he ran away from the match. But a Roman versus Owens match would be cool to have them like a real 1v1 happen. I don't know. Owens has been kind of iffy lately because he's been getting wins by raking the eyes and things like that. It's iffy, but no. If Ambrose wins, we have that thing that pretty much everybody and their dog has already predicted at this point, and that Roman and Ambrose are going to the final, and one of them, probably Roman, is going to heel turn. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Honestly, again, even if Dean I feel like it's Roman needs to win the championship this time. So I honestly feel like just as everyone thought that Dean was going to turn heel with the Shield and it ended up being Seth Rollins, I think once again it's going to be Roman. The way that they teased it on Raw, the way that Triple H was putting that belt on Roman's shoulder, the way that Roman looked tempted was pulled off so excellently, And for them, I just feel like Roman's just going to say, fuck it. I haven't gotten the belt so far. It's time for me to get this belt no matter what. I've had so many chances, got screwed so many times. I'm going to go with the winning team. I feel like, because if he loses again, I know that they could set up the whole thing. Honestly, I feel like in either case, it's going for WrestleMania. I feel like this is going to have a rematch at Mania. It's going to be huge, because it's like the best storyline on the card right now. I feel like it's going to Mania, but I feel like Roman's turning heel, joining Triple H, doing the handshake, with Satan, kind of like, Stone Cold did at WrestleMania 17, and he's taking out Dean.
Well, here's my thing. How does Roman turn heel and still look strong? How does Roman turn heel and not get a cheap victory, I guess is what I'm getting at? Without throwing a low blow, without grabbing the tights, is there any way for Roman to actually turn heel in that match and still look strong? Because to me, the only way that this happens, and this could be something really hype, but it might be too much. It might be, maybe I'm over the top. Just let me know. But I see, maybe they both fight as faces. Maybe they have that face match, because they've kind of done that before in the triple threat match with Rollins, and I think they did a fatal four-way with the Shield and Randy Orton. But they've done that before, where they've fought each other both as faces. And let's just say Roman clean beats Ambrose in a really hard fight. That match is something that could be a really great match. Yeah. Between Ambrose and Roman both in there. And Roman beats Ambrose. And the only way I see this is, let's say Roman beats Ambrose. And then maybe for added flair, Sheamus comes out to cash in Money in the Bank. And Roman puts down Sheamus right after that. And then he walks away. He could walk away the face right there, or after the match with or without Sheamus, regardless. Maybe Ambrose comes in to raise Roman's hand, and maybe Roman goes out and spears him, and that's how he turns heel. But it would have to be something after the match. Otherwise, if Roman wins in a cheap way, you take that hype, that strength that he's got, and you kind of lower him down a little bit, even though you're giving him the title. I
mean, I feel like the only reason Roman would turn heel the way that's been teased is for the easy way out. Well, not necessarily the easy way out, but if he feels that he just doesn't know he'll win, I feel like that's the only reason why. I feel like at this point, if he turns heel, he's gonna be getting some help. Although again,
and at that point though, who's there to help him besides J&J Security? Rollins is out, Big Show's out, Kane's kind of. Do you think Triple H comes out and actually helps Roman?
I think it's possible. The way that Triple H was acting that promo, I could see him coming out, making it seem like he's going to try and help Dean or something, and then, maybe pedigreeing Dean or something like that. I could see, I feel like Triple H, because, Roman's Triple H's boy. I feel like he's going to, if anyone's going to turn Roman heel, I feel like it's Triple H. So, I could see Dean turning heel at this point, but honestly, if Roman if one of the other pins the other clean, I really don't know if I really don't know, because I feel like that kills any momentum or any possibility of a rematch, so I don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, let's say Roman beats Dean clean. Let's say Roman spears Dean, pins him clean, and then Dean gets up and gives him the dirty deeds. Dean's pissed. Dean dirty deeds him after the match. I think that could be one way to lead to it. I think regardless of who turns heel here or what happens, I think, like we talked about before, Roman has to win the title now. Roman has to win the title now, because if they fade it and they give us a rematch at Mania or Royal Rumble or at some other pay-per-view down the road, he's just gonna start rapidly losing steam. He's already starting to a little bit. You can't keep teasing the title with him. I think regardless, Roman has to walk out the champion. However, a Roman heel turn that sets up for a WrestleMania rematch between Dean Ambrose, who can build up a massive face, people already fucking love the guy, and Roman Reigns as a heel at Mania, that could absolutely be huge.
That would be great. I would love to see. The thing is, last year a lot of people were complaining, Roman wasn't ready for WrestleMania, this and that, and they ended up having a really good match. You know what I mean? But this time, Roman, if he was heel, it'd be fine in my opinion. It would be like the real representation of the Authority. Roman, really ascending to that mantle of WWE champion finally. And I feel like Dean and Roman would draw a lot of money and burn the house down. So I feel like that would be excellent.
Definitely. And once again, the same thing could happen in the other direction. Maybe Ambrose wins the title here. Ambrose turns heel and wins the title here regardless, but you could have that rematch at Mania, but without Roman hanging on the title, it's just, I think it loses something in that regard. It's not that I don't want Ambrose to ever have the title. In fact, if they did do the Roman heel turn and Roman did win the title and they do have a rematch at Mania and it is that fucking hype, I would be thrilled if Ambrose won it at Mania. That would be something else, but it's just one of those things. But we've kind of gone through the card enough. We've rambled a little bit. Do you have any final thoughts before we wrap this one up on the whole tournament?
Pretty much just what we've been reiterating over and over. Roman should win. He needs to win. If he keeps losing, WWE is just going to kill his steam, forever. People are just going to look at Roman and say, even though he's been screwed, he's never going to win. It happened with Ryback. It happens with everyone. Got to give Roman the belt no matter what. That's my opinion.
There we go. And kind of the same thing to echo that. The tournament as a whole, if it does go the way we predicted it, it's pretty much the way everyone predicted it, aside from the Kalisto Ryback upset and then maybe Cesaro Sheamus. Like I said, that was one that was up in the air, along with Neville Barrett. But whatever. This has pretty much been the most predictable tournament in the history of the world, minus Kalisto Ryback.
Yep.
But despite how predictable it is, despite that we know what's coming, I'm still really excited for it. I don't know if, it seems like a lot of people these days are if they know what's coming, they absolutely hate it, and I'm not that kind of guy. As long as it still performed really well, as long as it's obviously shake it up every now and again, surprise me every now and again, but for the sake of this tournament, I am actually really excited to see how it plays out from here on out, especially Survivor Series. I'm looking forward to that a great deal, even though the only two matches that I know of on Survivor Series so far are the World Tournament match and then the Wyatts and the Brothers of Destruction.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, whenever WWE has to scramble, whenever they have to get desperate, whenever, a big change-up happens, with Rollins being injured or something along those lines, WWE tends to get better because they feel that desperation again that they felt during the Monday Night Wars and during all the times when they were down. So I'm excited about this entire thing. I'm really
And who knows, maybe people we actually like from NXT will get a push and come up to the main card and make it interesting. Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be great.
Yeah, I think that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for us here today, guys. If you guys have any other predictions, anything that you want to see, feel free to let us know in the comment section down below. Anything you feel about what's going on with the business right now, or your opinions on matches, or who should get the title and whatnot, feel free to let us know. Also, be sure to drop a like on that video and subscribe for more WWE nonsense and whatnot, and maybe prediction videos in the future. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But that's going to wrap it up for us. I'm Thundershot. I've been here with Mike from Laughing Stock Media, and we are out, guys.
See ya.